It's bright and hot today, Christy. I even have to leave my sunglasses on. Sorry about that. Today we're at my friend Mike's house, and he's got a lot of equipment experience himself, but he doesn't have exactly what he needs for this job, so I'm going to help him. We're going to do two things. We're going to dig a trench. The other thing is I'm going to grind some stumps. The stump grinder's on the back of the machine, but it actually can't work on the back of the machine. I just have it here for transport. Let's get started. Now Mike's got an inlet behind the camera, and he catches the water at the top of the driveway so that it doesn't run across the driveway and create a ditch. Right now, the exhaust is allowing water to come out right here in front of us, but as you can see, I'm sitting way backwards. It's real steep here, so that water comes rushing out of there and it erodes a ditch. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend that pipe right there all the way down the hill and hopefully keep all that water subsurface. Okay, so we did have 811. It was weeks and weeks ago, and it was clear.
Mike's a former co-worker of mine. We only worked together a few months, but we hit it off really well because, well, he has a similar love for equipment that I do. We had so much slope here that I could be a little bit sloppy with my depth control. The main thing is we wanted to keep it underground. Other than that, we didn't really need to worry about slope, at least at this part of the trench. This is our second and thankfully final episode with the smudge in the lower left of the camera lens. We're really sorry about that, but, well, it happens.
How's it doing on crumbing, Christy? Is it getting the crumbs out pretty good? I'm trying to turn here, see, so it's kind of putting the crumber against the edge of the trench.
Yeah.
That's about the maximum turn we can make, but I think we're okay with that. I'll be straightening out here in a minute. This truly does beat a shovel.
Everything's going smoothly at this point. It looks like this job's only going to take maybe 15-20 minutes to do the whole trench.
Root!
If the trencher catches on something, it slips the belt a little bit, but the belt's tight enough that it'll kill the engine. So it turns out to be a great safety mechanism. The brief belt slippage before the engine dies softens the inevitable sudden stop.
What do you think, Mike?
Looks pretty good.
There's only one thing that I've done wrong so far that I can see, and that's that I piled the dirt on the wrong side. So in other words, I probably should have come up the hill.
Oh.
But I still think with your little Johnny, nice little Johnny, by the way, I think you've got a great neighbor.
Yes, we do. That is fantastic.
But with your little Johnny, I think you'll be able to reach over and back drag it to you.
Okay.
So you might not have to get on this side, but that's one thing I might have done differently.
Hey, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. To get notified about new videos, press that bell right beside the subscribe button. If you've done that on your phone and you're still not getting notifications, make sure you've allowed notifications for the YouTube
You
app.
did it again.
Yeah, there's been some fairly large roots I think we've been hitting, right?
Yeah.
In spite of the roots, this job seemed to be going great. Not only was the trench going well, but it was in a shady area on such a hot day.
This is really going good, Mike.
It is.
It's probably worth that $18 a foot.
It might be.
I had been teasing Mike earlier saying I was going to charge $18 a foot. Yeah, right.
I think you've dug up a trash pile.
Yeah, there must have been a burn pile here. No, there's a bunch of artifacts of prehistoric
Yeah.
humans.
Great.
Yeah, we need to call the state. I think there may be, you know,
An
Indian
archaeological
artifacts.
dig.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't see what you're hitting, but, well, I think you have a Wonder Bread bag.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's whatever I'm hitting's up here.
Yeah.
What a mess.
What do you think that is?
Well, it looks like a mirror off
Yeah.
of an old car, maybe.
What is it?
Big old piece of steel.
I think maybe we're hitting the top of the garage and the car's still parked in it.
I think you're getting further into the trash dump.
Oh, look, there's one big old rock come out of there.
Encountering complications like this on a project is not unusual. If you're doing projects for other people, how are you going to handle this? Are you going to quit, blame the customer, get angry, or are you going to just be persistent and patient and work your way through it? We take the approach that the customer's paying us to get the job done, not just to play with our toys as long as it's all easy.
It's like corrugated roofing. That wouldn't have been enough to freeze me up.
There's just another piece of that roofing in here.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying just to go wider and wider to get around it.
Yeah.
What a mess. And how could anybody have predicted it? Mike has lived there for over 20 years and he had no idea this was down here.
All right, you got a whole bunch of this fencing.
Yeah. There's another piece you're gonna have to get out before it'll.
It's a big one down
Yeah,
there.
there's a big one down in here.
If you move over a little ways,
I'll hit 3 other pieces.
well, it's entirely possible, but you'll get past this one anyway. And it comes over here.
Yeah. Yeah, what a mess.
Well, you got it this time.
Big piece.
This must have been before scrap steel was valuable.
They decided to bury the roof of a whole building here, didn't they?
Well, it looks like.
Well, let me move on and see if I can get past it. We may have to get Johnny in there.
Okay. Wow.
I cannot push that button quick enough. That's a rock.
Raise up your thing. You got a big piece of metal right here on the side of it.
In the teeth.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were past it.
You got it? Okay.
Oh, that was a big piece.
I did a close inspection of the teeth after this project and everything looked fine.
Oh, we got a big piece in here. We need a shovel
You know,
again.
when you guys think of things going wrong, does this cross your mind?
Yeah. This is just normal.
Is it
Yeah.
really?
No, I mean, not this particular item, but this is, I mean, everybody thinks that this type of work is going to be, you know, just like it was on the first 10 feet up the hill there, right? But that's not what happens. I mean, there's real world in every project.
Man, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that one's pretty gnarly there.
It's metal.
There was a rough, but
It's a lot thinner metal than the other stuff, but there's
Okay, well, I might be able to cut through it then.
a bunch of it.
big piece of metal. It seems to be rounded. Feel that. That feels like almost a disc on a tractor or
Oh
something.
my, yeah, that one's big.
That's thick metal.
Okay.
It's totally different than the other.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think if you moved off to your right,
Yeah.
you can get around that piece that we're talking about.
We finally seemed to work through it. Since we were using that corrugated pipe, we could make those quick turns and not cause any trouble. That would have created pain with PVC.
Stump grinding time. I'm getting a lot better at these attachments, detaching and attaching them. There's one thing missing to me, and that's the ability to hold the thing from going forward, because sometimes you just need to push a little bit harder, and almost all of these attachments roll really easily. I wish I had a way to, you know, push them against a wall or somehow put a brake on them.
I had used the grinder a little bit in the Volunteering with Ventrac episode. However, this is the first time on our Vinny. I'd forgotten how aggressive it was at grinding. I also realized that my additional experience with the Ventrac was really helping at this point. It takes some time to get comfortable with a machine like this.
This thing is amazing at grinding stumps. The hardest part for me is seeing whether I'm done or not. As soon as I get started grinding, I throw up a bunch of sawdust and everything, and I can't tell where I am. You find any evidence?
If you can get it below my mower, I'm happy.
Well, I believe that'll even grow grass, don't you?
Yeah. All right, I think you're good.
I need my big tool rack, Christy.
You've got one that mounts on a 3-point, don't you?
I do, and I just don't have it. Here.
Here's a pretty good view of what I can see in the mirror from the tractor seat. It definitely takes some time to get used to using that mirror. Forwards and backwards are reversed. What looks like is behind you is actually in front of you.
I think I've just taken some of the middle here. I believe I'm far enough this way. And I noticed that I'd start hitting dirt. Well, there's a little bit there. Seemed like I was hitting dirt. Maybe the best thing to do is try to get the sawdust out of here. We can always push it back. I don't think I have too much more on this side. I have a good bit more on this other side. And a good bit more depth to do here as well.
Looks like they tried to burn this one out.
Yeah, it looks like they've had a fire or two on it. It a lot of times takes several fires. But you can eventually get them to burn.
Meanwhile, Mike is filling in the trench with the neighbor's Johnny. Very nice job, Mike. I'm impressed.
So I've asked Mike to dig that out a little bit and see if he sees any more of the stump. Like I said before, I have a real hard time determining if I've got deep enough or got all the edges and everything, because it just piles up in sawdust and dirt. Clearly Mike's more of a box blade guy than I am.
There were 2 stumps in this area. I would grind on one while Mike would clear on the other, and then we'd alternate. I was much more efficient at the grinding when he was pulling that sawdust and extra soil out of the way. It really helped me to see what I had missed. We ground these deep enough to where there really wasn't anything left. Now on to one in the backyard. I strategically found that the best angle to approach this one was the shady angle. Hard to tell from this angle, but this was the biggest stump that Mike had for us to grind. He thought it might be too much for us. As it turns out, it was a little older, a little more rotten. It actually went pretty quick.
Well, drag it and see what it looks like.
I don't think there's much left.
What do you think of Vinny, Mike?
Man, that is a machine. When I first saw it, I thought it was kind of goofy looking.
Yeah,
And I
it
thought,
is.
man, I'd much rather have a traditional tractor. But now that I've seen your videos and seen it in action, that is definitely a viable tool.
It's fascinating. The two tools that we brought today really are unique and really do a good job, don't they?
They did a great job. That stump grinder is, it made short work of that big stump.
It really helped when you took the box blade and pulled the sawdust and
Yeah.
extra dirt away.
I could see where that would be really difficult and a lot of manual labor. I assume normally you just rake it off or shovel it.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's-
kind of feel around through the sawdust with the grinder and think, okay, that's good enough, and then come back later with the rake.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a big piece sticking up, you know?
Yes, now you know you need two pieces of equipment for a big stump job.
Yeah. Mike
when,
and Vinny.
when you're ready.
One other comment I have for your question. I watched you using that box blade, and everybody's on my case for, you need a box blade, Tim, you need a box blade. Well, we do have a box blade now, but everything I saw you do with the box blade, I would have done with the front end loader.
Oh yeah?
Every bit of it.
Well, I don't know. I've never been trained. I just get on it and figure it out.
Okay.
And this is going to get, I told you, I got 15 yards of topsoil coming, so I'm going to smooth all this out and all these ruts.
Yeah,
And
so
I've
then
got a
after
yard
the first
rake.
big rain, the topsoil's
Yeah.
going to be on the neighbor.
And I do have the, I've got the rolls of straw and webbing
Okay.
with that carpet, whatever you call that stuff,
Okay.
to hopefully help that.
That'll be good. I like seeing your neighbor's 4100.
It's a pretty nice tractor.
It looks like it's brand new.
When he got it, just, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, it looked brand new. I mean, the guy had immaculately kept it.
And it's got quick attach bucket, it's hydrostat, it's a very, very nice machine. You know, it's even better that you don't have to make the payments.
This is true. It's very handy.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you having us over.
Well, man, I appreciate I didn't have to dig that trench. Now, you imagine if I'd have got down 3/4 of the way and into that mess hand digging?
I don't even want to think about
That would have been irritating.
it. So anyway, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming out.
And thank you for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. I should have brought that canopy.
Yeah.
Can you stand here and hold something over my head?
Are you gonna hold something over my head?
Oh.